Amendment. I'm against capital punishment. I'm going to start off with a little story. Back in 1976, a lady and her boyfriend, Sonia Jacobs, and her boyfriend Jesse Tefero were in a car with a guy. You know, they're sitting at a rest stop. The guy had a warrant out for his arrest, so two cops come up, talk to him. They find out he's got a warrant out. The guy kills the two people. I'm sorry, the two cops. So, you know, the killer, his name Walter Rhodes, hands Sonia the gun, take off. About 30 minutes later, they get caught. Rhodes blames it on Sonia and her boyfriend, and they get convicted for murder. He got a life sentence, he got a reduced sentence, they got the death penalty. That was in 1976. In 1982, he confessed to the murder, but the judge, because she was holding the gun, the judge refused to overturn it. So, in 1990, Jesse Tefero, the boyfriend, was executed in the state of Florida by the electric chair. And in 1992, right before Sonia Jacobs' execution date, they finally overturned it, so she was free, and an innocent man was murdered. I got that story from the Center of Wrongful Convictions at Northwestern Law Legal Clinic, and let's get started. Now you know what I'm talking about, let's discuss the initial problem that has me up here talking about. My entire life, my worst fear has been to be wrongfully accused about something. I've always been scared that I'd be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I get just blamed for something and have to go to jail for someone else's fault. And I've always thought, you know, that'd be the worst thing ever. And it's happened before, and it can easily happen anywhere. There have been many wrongfully accused people going to death row. That is the problem that has me up here today. Many causes and factors at fault, you know, human error, bad judgment, you know, things like that by a jury. Many effects, you know, families get affected, you know, there have been many organizations that come up because of the wrongful accusations, and my solution is to abolish the death penalty. Now, you know what you're talking about, my problem is, you know, innocent people are being killed on death row. The murder rate is obviously very high. A lot of people serving life sentences, you know, and stuff like that. In the state of Texas, there are currently 500 people on death row. 438 have been executed in Texas history, and there have been 18 so far that have been released because they're wrongfully accused and then later, you know, found innocent. That's 3.9%. So, I mean, just imagine what if the number was 5%, you know, how many people, that's 5 people, that's 5% of 438, that's 23 people, and means 5 innocent people could have been killed there. I mean, just imagine the numbers, you know, it's pretty... I got that from Northwestern University of Wrongful Convictions also. And with every problem in this world comes a cause and an effect. The cause to this is, you know, there's a lot of human error, you know, human judgment involved, and humans make mistakes. For wrongful convictions, it's only to be easily framed. Some courts have been known to rush through trials to get an early conviction, you know, for make the public happy because, you know, bad murder, people want, you know, justice. And the judge and jury, you know, very easily make mistakes. There have been 38 documented executions since 1975 where there's compelling evidence that was brought up after the court case that proved innocence of the people that were executed. That's 38 people, innocent people that died that we know of right now. That's a large number. And you know, the effects of innocent people dying, obviously families, you know, your son goes to jail for something he doesn't do and gets killed. I mean, there's nothing worse than that. 2 organizations have started up to free innocent people. The Innocence Project, they have freed 220 wrongly convicted prisoners, and the American Civil Liberties Union has freed 123 wrongly convicted prisoners, most of which are murderers or rapists, or convicted for murder. The Innocence Project was created by defense attorney Barry Scheck. He's a DNA evidence specialist, and he's gotten 220 people free just off DNA evidence. I got that from Business Publications. I'm a very strong believer in the fact that every problem has a solution. So let's talk about the solution. There are innocent people dying in our country, and I don't think that's acceptable. I think that's a very bad thing. Since 1977, the state of Illinois has executed 12 prisoners, and 13 people were released from prison because they were proven innocent from death row. That's 52%. I mean, that's a pretty bad number. It shouldn't be that high. There are 12 states in America that don't enforce the death penalty, and Illinois is on its way to being the 13th. Even though they have a governor who is pro-death penalty, they're still going to make, they put a block and they're going to make a ban because they realize how it's just not working out. I understand the money issues of housing prisoners, and the U.S. could use the money right now, obviously, for a lot of reasons, but one innocent life doesn't have a price, let alone the 38 that have been documented that were proven innocent later. No life has a price. And, let's just review what I talked about. A huge problem is obviously wrongful conviction and execution. There are several causes, including, human error, bad judgment, you can be framed, crazy stuff happens, Families suffer, as an effect, families suffer and organizations have come up. And the solution, to me, is just to abolish the death penalty. America's a great country, I think we can figure out a better way to punish people. And real quick, to finish that story I started, the guy Jesse Tefera, who was wrongly executed, when he was executed, they gave him the electric chair, and they had to stop it 3 times because smoke and flames were coming off his head while he's still breathing. He's an innocent man who put to death. And I think it's very, very sad. It shouldn't happen. Thank you.